The centuries after the fall of the Western Roman Empire are often described as a great silence. The theaters disappeared, public spectacle faded, and the organized musical machinery of Rome collapsed. But music did not vanish. It changed. What had once been large scale, public sound retreated into churches and monasteries. There, it was reshaped into something quieter and more introspective, a form of worship that would eventually lay the foundation for the complex polyphony of the later Middle Ages. During this period, Europe was marked by upheaval and demographic change. Much of the written word was lost. Musical practice, however, remained central to life. Hymns, chants, masses, and devotional songs became the dominant form of expression. Many early church fathers were deeply suspicious of instrumental music, associating it with pagan spectacle and excess. Saint Jerome famously wrote, "A Christian maiden ought not even to know what a lyre or flute is like, or to what use it is put." While this was not a formal ban, it changed the soundscape of Christian music for centuries. Vocal music became the ideal. Instruments were marginalized. And yet, while early Christians sought distance from the public sounds of Rome and Greece, they did not reject everything. Greek theoretical ideas survived, and Christian worship absorbed regional influences as it spread from Jerusalem to Rome and beyond. In Syria, for example, monasteries played an important role in developing psalm singing and strophic hymns. By the 7th century, even instruments cautiously returned. An organ was installed in Rome during the pontificate of Pope Vitalian in 670 AD. The organs would not become common in churches for centuries and were often met with suspicion. This was the age of plain chant. Plain chant was monophonic, a single line sung without instrumental accompaniment, its rhythm flexible, shaped by text rather than strict meter. Across Europe, different chant traditions developed: Roman, Ambrosian, Beneventan, Hispanic, and various Gallican forms. There was, however, a serious problem. Plain chant required immense training. In Rome, singers of the Schola Cantorum could spend up to 9 years mastering the repertory. But how do you transmit a unified musical tradition across an entire continent without a precise system of notation? For centuries, the answer was oral transmission, and as political authority fragmented, so did sound. While performance practice varied from region to region, the intellectual framework of ancient music survived in writing. In the early 6th century, the Roman scholar Boethius preserved Greek theory in his treatise De Institutione Musica. For Boethius, music was not merely something heard, it reflected cosmic order. He described three kinds of music: musica mundana, the silent harmony of the cosmos; musica humana, the internal harmony of body and soul; and musica instrumentalis, the audible music performed by voices and instruments. To him, the true musician was not the performer, but the one who understood the mathematical structure behind sound. Music was a reflection of divine proportion. While Europe's soundscape fragmented, this intellectual foundation endured. Then political power began to consolidate. As the Lombards, Franks, and other groups reshaped post Roman Europe, a new ruler sought unity: Charlemagne. Across his territories, the Mass could sound different from region to region: different melodies, different traditions, different memories of Rome. For an empire seeking coherence, this was a problem. Charlemagne promoted the standardization of Roman chant and encouraged its transmission not only by memory but in writing. From this effort, Neumes, early notation symbols, spread widely across the Carolingian world. Neumes did not specify exact pitches. They did not indicate precise rhythm. They showed direction, whether the melody moved up or down. It was an imperfect system, but it was a beginning. Over time, scribes and teachers refined these symbols, adding greater clarity. And in the 11th century, one figure transformed musical notation entirely: Guido of Arezzo. Guido introduced staff lines to fix pitches visually in space, allowing singers to learn music far more quickly and accurately. He also developed a system of solmization using the hymn Ut Queant Laxis,
Ut Queant Laxis,
observing that each phrase of the hymn began on a successive note of the hexachord. From these syllables emerged the system that would later become the solfege of today. For the first time since antiquity, pitch could be fixed and transmitted with precision. With a more exact notation system in place, something new became possible. The ninth century treatise Musica in Kyriadis describes an early form of multi-voice singing known as organum. One voice would carry the chant,
Tu patris
while
et
another moved
Filio
alongside
et
it at a fixed interval, often a fourth or fifth.
Tu patris et
This was not yet the
Filio
soaring
et
polyphony of the later Middle
Spiritus.
Ages, but it marked a shift in musical thinking. A single melodic line could now be aligned vertically with another. After centuries of fragmentation, sound could once again be coordinated, structured, and preserved. The groundwork for polyphony had been laid.